pronouns are she and her, and I'm so glad you're here, as is Pastor T, who'll be up to take over any minute now. You're welcome here. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, however you identify, and whatever your story, you are not just welcome here, you are celebrated here. You are welcome whether you're here in person or joining us online, from down the street, across town, across the country, or around the globe. We honor all bodies, all neurotypes, all races, and cultures. Ready? Sure, there you go.
Immigrants with or without documentation, citizens, seekers, skeptics, scholars, students, and survivors. There is space for you here. You are black, brown, indigenous, white, mixed, of the global majority or minority. If your pantry is overflowing or if you're worried about where your next meal will come from. If you are disabled, chronically ill, neurodivergent, mostly healthy, or somehow a specimen of perfect health. If you are lesbian, gay, bi, pan, ace, aro, hetero, whatever your orientation, you and how or who you love is valid here. If you are trans, non-binary, intersex, two-spirit, gender expansive, exploring your identity, or wondering what those words mean and how they differ from one another. If your pronouns are obvious to the world around you, or if you are constantly misgendered even by those who you love, your whole self is sacred here. You exist here, and you are safe here. If you follow Jesus, the Buddha, the goddess, the earth, your ancestors, science, nature, or the prime directive, if you're still figuring it out or terrified at the very thought of being at church, your faith journey is holy here. Bring with you your doubts, your rituals, your joy, your grief, your questions, and your curiosity. In our services, we encourage you to use whatever name for the divine feels right to you. In songs or readings, if something doesn't feel right, substitute the word that works for you. We celebrate many paths to the sacred, the divine, the holy, or God. You are welcome even if none of the groups I mentioned yet apply to you. The only thing not welcome in this space is intolerance, and as long as you welcome all those who've been mentioned, you too are welcome and loved and accepted here. We acknowledge that we gather on the unceded land of the Chukchansi people. We honor their story, their sovereignty, and their enduring presence. If you're joining us online today, please drop a comment or an emoji so we can feel your presence across the miles, regardless of which app or platform you're joining us on. If you have a joy or a concern, or as you may have heard in other places, a prayer request or praise that you would like us to read during that time in our service, please make sure you fill out one of the forms over on the table or drop it in the comments if you're online. This is a welcoming space to all, so feel free to move, stretch, or sway. Just keep your volume kind if you're able to, so everyone can stay present. Now I invite you to take a deep breath with me. And allow yourself to arrive fully in this moment. Let love, acceptance, and welcome meet you exactly where you are. And now we will begin with our opening song, which is the same song we sang during our gathering time last week, Sia Humba, or We Are Marching. And you may have learned it Light of Love or Light of God, sing it either way that's most comfortable to you.
Marching in the light of love.
about some of the intricacies of going live on TikTok from South Africa. So it might be the first time we've had someone actually listening that speaks Zulu.
It's true.
So
It's true.
that's fantastic. Yep. The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. It's joined together as hearts beat as one. And by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly down, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love. Welcome coming to our chalice lady. Good morning.
My name is Beth, and my pronouns are she and her. We like this challenge with grateful hearts, aware that none of us arrive here by chance. Every path, every kindness, every sheer breath connects us from the greater love of life. As flame meets air and light meets shadow, may we remember our interdependence with one another, earth, and all beings, and cherish the community that makes us whole.
All right, so we're gonna delve a little bit into these UU values we've been talking about. And some of you have heard this information before, and for some of you it's new. If you've heard this information before, probably what you do need practice on is how to answer when someone else asks you. One of the things that's really common with Unitarian Universalism is when you tell someone you go to a UU church, first of all, they want to know what UU is, and then they want to know, what do you believe? And the thing is that we all believe something different. Another one of my favorite UU jokes is, what does a Unitarian Universalist missionary do? And the answer is they knock on your door and they ask you what you believe. So we're going to talk about interdependence. It's a core value, the simple but powerful truth that none of us exists on our own. Every life is shaped by relationships with people, with the earth, with systems we can see and systems we can't. What touches one part of the web touches us all. While we named this in UU language, this understanding was far beyond our tradition. The idea that we are deeply connected shows up across faiths, cultures, and even modern science. In Buddhism, we see it in the teaching that nothing arises independently. everything exists through relationship and shared influence. In Hindu traditions, it appears in the belief that all beings are expressions of one underlying reality, woven together through life and purpose. In Judaism, interdependence shows up in the deep ethic of communal responsibility, the understanding that care for one another strengthens the whole community. I was part of a group called the Tikkun Olam Makers, which is all about that I'll find an opportunity to tell you about sometime. It was really cool. In Christian traditions, it's reflected in the image of many parts forming one body, each essential and each belonging. In Islam, we find it in the emphasis on shared humanity and mutual accountability, where compassion and responsibility extend beyond the individual. In indigenous worldviews, interdependence is lived as sacred relationship with the land, waters, ancestors, and future generations, humans as a part of a larger circle of life. And in science and ecology, we see again and again that life thrives through balance, cooperation, and interconnected systems, not isolation. So when people ask, what do Unitarian Universalists believe? We can say this. We believe in what so many traditions have already been teaching in their own ways, that life is connected, that we belong to one another, and that no one thrives alone. We don't choose just one sacred path because wisdom is bigger than any single story. Instead, we honor the many voices that point toward the same truth. We believe in interdependence, which is on our little, my clicker decided to stop working. I'm gonna have to go check on that. Anyway, it's one of our values. I might be clicking from the back now. We believe in interdependence, and we celebrate that we are part of a long, beautiful human tradition that has always known this to be true. And we'll be doing our gathering song as soon as I can get the slide up. Because I need to plug in the PC. I will work on that.
Sorry, as I'm notoriously known to do, I gave Judy a last minute audible on some musical instructions. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. Now I want you to think of somebody who needs that same prayer and replace the I with you. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be That's what I have in my notes. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
That's it.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
Good morning, my name is Amy, and we're going to be doing the meditation. It's called Breathing Together, Held Together. I invite you now to settle into a comfortable position. If it feels right, softly close your eyes or lower your gaze to a gentle point before you. Begin by noticing your breath, not changing it, just noticing it. A slow inhale, a quiet exhale. With each breath in, remember that the air you draw into your body is shared with trees, with oceans, with animals, with people in this room, and far beyond it. Each breath is a reminder that we are already part of something larger, already connected, already held. You do not need to feel anything special today. No forced gratitude, no manufactured peace, just this breath, this moment, and the truth that your presence is enough. As you continue to breathe, imagine that with each inhale, you are gently receiving support from this community, from the earth beneath you, from unseen hands that have carried you to this moment. And as you exhale, imagine offering something simple in return. A soft kindness, a quiet prayer, a wish for well-being. Even just your willingness to be here. Now bring to mind someone you care about. Someone whose presence feels steady, comforting, or familiar. Picture a soft thread of light connecting your heart to theirs. Not tight, not heavy, just a gentle line of shared care. And now imagine someone, somewhere, who may be reaching toward you in ways you cannot see. A person grateful for the words you spoke. A soul comforted by a kindness you barely remember. A viewer online finding a sense of belonging through your shared presence. Let yourself feel the truth of this. You are both reaching and being reached. If today feels heavy, if gratitude feels far away, let that be okay too. There is no quota for thankfulness here, no requirement to feel joyful. In this moment, your only task is to breathe and to rest in the knowledge that even when the light feels dim, the web still holds you. With each breath, feel the quiet reassurance rising. I am enough. We are enough. This moment is enough. Sense the shared rhythm of breath in the room, the quiet hum of connection, the belonging that does not demand perfection. And when you feel ready, begin to gently return your awareness to the space around you, to the sounds, the light, the presence of others. Wiggle your fingers just a little bit. Soften your shoulders. And when it feels right, open your eyes. Carry with you this gentle awareness that you do not walk alone,
there in February. She is home very sick and has asked for prayer because she's very concerned we will not allow Neil to come home on Tuesday if she's not better. Continue prayers for Neil and that he does get to come home on Tuesday. Prayers for Jessica, Lisa. I'm looking at Jessica, thinking of Lisa. Hey, joy that Jessica's here. Prayers for Lisa as she continues to deal with the imminent passing of her father. Prayers for all the prayer requests that have been lifted up to us on TikTok throughout the week and today. Sage's Grandpa Charles is struggling with physical health, and Grandma Sheila is struggling with mental and physical health. So prayers that we get them moved out here soon. I'm just going to throw that out there because I know they're watching. Prayers for Richard's health, and prayers for me because finals are imminent as well. They're coming up in just 2 weeks. The first semester's almost over.
Teresa, Paul would like prayers for my son's health and my personal CPST.
Okay. Prayers for Paul's son's health and personal struggle with PTSD. Okay. And I will now light our community candle, which will stay lit until end of service. Remember the joys and concerns here today. Please join me in the spirit of prayer. Holy One, God of many names, we feel your presence and know that you are with those who are struggling right now. We ask that you provide healing and strength and a sense of peace. We also thank you for the joys, those spoken and unspoken, the simple things in life that bring us gratitude and happiness. We ask that you be with all of us as we prepare for this coming holiday season, that our bellies be full and our homes be warm with love and laughter. In your many holy names we pray. Amen. And I think Judy has our clothes already. Yes.
Good morning. My name is Judy. My pronouns are she, her. I just found this beautiful little story, and I found a little thing at the very, very beginning on this page. It's all this little print. But I found that the text for this book was written on Lenape land, and the art was created on Chickasaw Nation tribal land. The illustrations were created using a mix of paper, graphite, and digital media. And I thought, how cool is that? So I wanted to share that with you. My fingers are okay. This is called At Our Table. At our table, there is room for a fresh tablecloth, crisp and bold like this day. And new ones too. Whoops. Okay, sorry. For helping hands to peel and fold and guide. And for old traditions. And new ones too. I love these illustrations. At our table, and this is our table, there is room to shift down, squeeze in, or share a seat. Room for every platter, plate, and bowl to pass from hand to hand, even without space for elbows. No elbows on it. At our table, there is always room for quiet. room to give thanks for the land where food grows and to the people who harvest it. Room to learn from the first farmers and builders and knowledge gatherers. Room to celebrate how they lead and care and share their gifts with the world. At our table, there is room to give to the earth, to our neighbors, and to our bellies. Room for mixed up medleys, mashed potatoes, separated servings, for trying things, even when they are squishy, or runny, or new. I think these have to be Sage's Brussels sprouts.
I think so. And that's how Teresa does her plate over there on the other side.
Yeah, nothing can touch.
Oh, I At our table, there is room to be silly, or to be serious, or to stumble. Room for swapping stories, second helpings, and favorite jokes. There's always room to share, especially when it's hard. It's hard to share cookies. At our table, there is lots of room for desserts. We do desserts well, don't we? And when pauses are long and the last jackets are gathered, our table still has room for a folded tablecloth, one warm light from the kitchen, and a place to rest, knowing you are loved and feeling grateful for being whole. Judy.
I think I'm doing the responsive reading. Okay. Natasha is also not well today.
She's just traveling.
Oh, she's traveling. The Moreno family is not well. They woke up with Joseph having quite a fever, so they're getting sick today, which we appreciate. So I'm going to read the small part up at the top that you can't really see, and the rest of you will read the part in bold. And this is a responsive reading titled Gratitude in All Seasons. As we move into a season that speaks often of gratitude, we pause to remember that not every heart feels thankful today.
Some of us carry grief, exhaustion, loneliness, or worry.
Some of us struggle to find gratitude in the face of loss, stress, or uncertainty.
And still we are here together.
Interdependence reminds us that we do not have to feel the same to belong. We do not walk this season alone.
We hold one another with compassion and care.
Gratitude is not a demand. It is an invitation to notice even the smallest threads of connection.
A kind word, a steady presence, a gentle breath.
May we make space for both joy and sorrow, both thankfulness and struggle.
And may we trust that even the faintest spark of gratitude can grow when tended together.
In this shared circle of care, we honor our interdependence and open our hearts to healing.
Here together, we move forward with hope.
There's been a song that's been on my mind a lot this week. Starting with Tuesday, I was invited to speak at our school chapel, which I had to do via Zoom, and had a lot of big feelings about that because our whole schedule is disrupted right now. Before I get to the song, can I just be vulnerable for a second and say our family is really struggling right now. We are without Tiffany and Siri, who, if you've been around long enough, you know, are a vital part of running our household. So if anyone is interested in work as an IHSS worker, see us after church. Tiffany and Siri are dealing with some family matters of their own, and it's been hard. It's hard on everybody, hence why I had to go over there and help Olivia with Thor. But on Tuesday I was supposed to be on campus, and I was feeling grumpy about it, and this song just kept permeating my thoughts. Psalm 130, you've turned my mourning into dancing. You've lifted my sorrows. I cannot stay silent. I must sing, for the joy has come. It's actually a great song that I meant for us to sing this morning, but I didn't get the music to Chris fast enough, so we'll sing it next week. But what a great song for right now. As the holidays approach, the holidays can be a difficult time for a lot of people. This holiday especially, that we will celebrate on Thursday here in the U.S., is especially difficult for so many people, for so many reasons. Did you know that Thanksgiving is the busiest travel day of the year? It's when airports are at their maximum capacity, airlines make their greatest amount of money, gas companies also make their greatest amount of money, as more people are traveling on the roads during Thanksgiving, more so than any other time of the year. Traffic is a nightmare. Prices are higher than usual for plane tickets and fuel for your vehicle. And after traveling through all that stress, many people travel to deal with family dynamics that are less than ideal. It's the one day of the year that many people have to deal with the racist aunt, the narcissistic parent, or that drunk, creepy uncle. It's the big meal that often leads to fights and tears and just general awfulness for some folks. And yet they return year after year in hope of love and connection and family. Holidays were complicated for me growing up because my mom was always miserable about traveling to see the in-laws. It wasn't a long trip, it was just from Clovis to Fresno. Took us about 10 minutes to get there, but she would spend hours complaining about it, and hours complaining about it after we got home. And I actually enjoyed the people that we would go visit. I don't know what the issue was with her, but everyone seems to have that one holiday story that gets told every time the family gets together, and almost always that holiday story is on Thanksgiving. My story is no exception. In fact, I confirmed this morning that it was on Thanksgiving. So if anybody from my dad's side is watching, Renee says I'm right. my roommate and I lived in Coalinga, which if you don't know is about an hour outside of Fresno, kind of west of Fresno. And we both had family in Fresno that we needed to go visit for Thanksgiving. And so we traveled together and made arrangements to visit each other's families together. And because the fog was bad, the weather was bad, it was just the smart thing to do, right? Well, my aunt pulled me aside. I was in my early 20s, not out yet. My aunt pulled me aside and said, "Do you have a boyfriend yet?" And I said, "No." And she said, "You know that girl you were with is really cute." And I, being the closeted homophobe that I was, blew up at her, told her, how dare she. I had to apologize a couple years later. But that story gets brought up every time my family comes together, and some of them insist it was Easter, and some of them insist it was Thanksgiving, but I'm back in touch with that roommate. She says it was Thanksgiving. And in case, but that's the story for a lot of folks. These awkward conversations that come up during the holidays. And it's why we make sure that in our welcome speech we make it clear that everybody that this flag represents is also welcome, because they tend to be that welcoming people tends to be the exception, not the norm. It's kind of sad. Not everybody gets that acceptance from their family that I got from my aunt that day. Sadly, some years later, my aunt found Jesus, as she puts it, but I don't think that's who she found, because she has less pleasant conversations with me and her gay grandson these days. Thanksgiving is complicated, and I haven't even started on all the complications of its origin story, or fairy tale we were taught in school, of pilgrims and indigenous people all having a peaceful meal together, or the insanity of Black Friday, where we beat people up to get a cheap TV set after just spending a day talking about how grateful we are for what we have. The drama, the lies about the origin, the pomp and circumstance of it all, and the greed the day after make it hard to remember what the day is all about. It's Thanksgiving. Literally means giving thanks. But even that can be complicated for some of us, right? I have a ton to be thankful about this year. A warm home, a loving, chosen family, food in the fridge, a working, legal vehicle, which is not something I could always say in the past. These are not things that I've always had, so I'm extra grateful for them right now. I know there are people here today and in person and or virtually, who don't even have the things that I just mentioned. That many others here might take for granted just having a home or a place to go for the holidays. So the big question today is, where do we find gratitude when scarcity and darkness seem more abundant? Where do we find the joy that comes after the morning? Because darkness creeps into the holidays, even for those who seem to have it all. Many of us are grieving people who once sat at our tables, who now won't even talk to us, or have passed from this life into the next. Many of you might feel the most alone during the holidays as you reach the age where you have fewer friends and family still here with you. Then, of course, there's many here who might find yourself alone on Thursday, as some of our neighbors who might be spending the day in a leaky tent. Although thanks to some generous donations, I'm hoping to fix some leaky tents this week. Where do we find gratitude during times like this? Well, sometimes it's just taking the first step and saying yes. Tell another story. There was one holiday, and I'm pretty confident it was another Thanksgiving, that my family, especially my mom, were just being extra awful, and I didn't want to be around them. I had drawn a clear line in the sand. I wasn't going to do it. I had determined that I was just going to sit at home and wallow. But that same friend who later became my roommate insisted that that was not acceptable, and she dragged me with her to her family's gathering. It ended up being one of my favorite Thanksgivings I ever had. Sometimes you just have to take that first step of saying yes to the invitation. Sometimes you have to believe that you aren't an afterthought or a burden, but rather a blessing at somebody's table. Sometimes you need to focus not on the people who should want you at the table, but on the people who do love you and want you at their table. That first step is hard. It's where true family and connection happens. Allowing yourself to be loved. Allowing others the privilege of loving you because you're worth it. The next thing that's often easy for finding gratitude, especially during the holidays, is to make a list. And at first that list might be hard. It might just be, I'm thankful for chocolate. You might even have a side note, I'm thankful for chocolate even though I can't afford to buy any. That's okay. Secondary side note, that's why the food pantry always has candy. Been there, done that. But it might just be something that simple, and just starting with the smallest little thing that you can think of to be grateful for, you can just keep going, and it gets easier and longer and better. Some of you might be grateful that the electric company hasn't shut you off yet. Some of you might not be so fortunate, and some of you may have never known that struggle. Take it small. Find the little things to be grateful for. Carry the list with you and see what else comes along during the week. In one of my classes this past week, somebody was talking about gratitude and finding things to be thankful for. And we do a lot of just kind of blind writing assignments and writing things down and writing down what we're grateful for. And as you start going, you start thinking of the trees and the sunset and this beautiful place where we live and the food and the friends and the family and the church. And the list just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and growing to the point that I needed multiple pieces of paper as we were writing this down. There's so much to be grateful for, even when it feels like there isn't. One more way I would like to encourage us all to find gratitude during this season is to help others. When we step outside of our own sadness and our own pain and help others, it can be the greatest joy of all. 3 years ago, I had what was about to be one of the most painful Thanksgivings ever. My sister abruptly decided she wasn't bringing my kids to visit anymore. Many of you heard that story. Oddly enough, it was because after 18 years of me being out of the closet, she suddenly realized I was gay. I don't know. But I'd already bought the food, so we took the meal to the homeless cafe that Chris and I used to run and fed everyone there. Now, I'm a good cook. I get a lot of compliments on my cooking. You're all invited to Thanksgiving, seriously. You can test it out. But that day, was the day that I saw the most gratitude, the most grateful people for just the most simple of things. If you just step out of your sorrow and help others, in doing so, it might make you both free. It's the little things in life that we find gratitude in. It's the little things that bring our mourning into joy, that lifts our sorrows. See, the thing about gratitude is it's not something that we wait to feel. It's something we practice daily. And it takes work. It's something we build one yes at a time, one item on a list at a time, one act of kindness, one shared meal, one moment of connection at a time. Because gratitude doesn't erase the darkness. It gives us a light to hold on to while we walk through it. Have you ever noticed that as you're holding a flashlight in a dark space, maybe walking a trail late at night when you should have been home before dark, and man, Jay was supposed to be here to comment on that because I kept Jay up really late one night worrying about me because I wasn't down off of a trail yet. And he loves to tell that story. But have you ever noticed as you're shining a flashlight in the night that it becomes harder to see the darkness all around you? That if you try to look off of where that light beam is over here, you can't see anything where maybe you could see shadows before because the light impulse. Gratitude is that light in the darkness. Finding just something to hold on to and be grateful for gives us something to hold as we walk through the darkness of winter and the difficulty of the holiday season and the hustle and bustle of it all. So if this week you find yourself sitting at a table that feels empty, or you find yourself sitting surrounded by people who don't really they see you. Remember, you're not alone. You're not forgotten. You're not unloved. There's a place for you here. There's a table for you here. And there's family for you here. A family that is chosen, intentional, and very, very real. May it be so.
We've got a really fun song to share today. Before we move into our musical reflection song, I want to leave you with one more reminder of what gratitude can look like in real life. Not the picture-perfect version, not the magazine cover version, but the messy, complicated, awkward, beautiful version that so many of us actually live. Holidays bring together people who don't always understand each other, people who don't share the same beliefs, people with different identities, different traditions, different wounds, and different hopes. And somehow, in the middle of all that discomfort, there are still these tiny moments of grace, a shared meal, a laugh no one expected, a softening of the heart where you least thought it possible. That's the spirit behind the song we're about to hear. This song tells a story that takes place during Christmas, but it's relevant now as well. Dar Williams' The Christians and the Pagans tells the story of a family gathering that is, well, complicated, just like the ones many of us know. It's honest, it's funny, and it also shows something deeply true, that gratitude doesn't require perfection. It just requires a little willingness, a little kindness, and the courage to sit at the same table. So as you listen, I invite you to notice the humor, the tenderness, and the small holy moments where people who don't fully understand each other still manage to share warmth and food and light. May we all find and create these moments this week. Here is The Christians and the Pagans.
And the Christmas uncle watched his work and marry on the tree. Watched his son and candy canes all made with red and number 3. He told us he said Christmas Eve, I know our life is not just life. He said Christmas is like solstice and we miss you and it's been a while. So the Christians and my babies get together at the table. But he picked their common ground, that's that they were able. Just before the meal was served, and for help and prayer to say, sending hope for peace on earth to all their God who got there to say. The food was great, the tree got in, the meal had gone without a catch. Then he turned to Edward and said, is it true that you're a witch? It's from drunk to bird said, I thought burning and she hit the kitchen. And it was James food, she said it's true because he's not a Christian. But we love trees, we love the snow, the friends we have, the world we share. And you find magic from your God, and we find magic everywhere. So the Christians and the pagans stay together and they sing. When he made their common ground, that's the thing we're doing. Where does magic come from? I think magic's in the learning. It's not the Christians and the pagans, holy pumpkin gods are burning. Whenever tried to do the dishes, Aunt said, really no, don't bother. Amber's uncle saw how Amber looked like him and left her father. He thought about his brother, how they hadn't spoken in a year. He thought he'd call him up and say it's Christmas and your daughter's here. He thought of fathers, sons, and brothers, saw his own sons up his feet, and can I be a pagan? That said, we'll discuss it one day. So the Christians and the pagans, they keep together to be one. But he with a common ground, that's the thing.
Rescue, Alan. That's one of our favorite Christmas songs.
Hi, my name is Alan, and my pronouns are he and him. As we move into our time of offering, I want to remind you that while we do not pass a plate, your financial contributions are still deeply appreciated. There's a bowl and a QR code on the welcome table by the door, out there. And you can also donate online at mountainuu.org under ways to give. That's for you guys that are online. If you would like us to track a cash donation for your records, please use an envelope. Checks can be made out to Mountain Unitarian Universalist or stamped using the church stamp provided. All funds go directly towards our mission of love in action, creating change, and supporting our gatherings, outreach, hospitality, and the community care we strive to offer each week. We believe in transparency, and our financial information is always accessible to our website or by appointment. Our board and finance committee are currently finalizing our annual budget, which we hope to submit alongside our 501c3 application in early 2026. The careful planning helps ensure that MUU remains sustainable, accountable, and rooted in shared responsibility as we continue to grow. We also want to affirm that we are an organization run entirely by volunteers. There's no paid staff. Your presence, your helping hands, your time, your care, and your participation are all meaningful. They're meaningful gifts that make this community possible. And as we begin to transition into our announcements, we invite you to continue holding this spirit of generosity in your giving, in your service, in the way you show up for one another.
Thank you so much, Alan. All right, Teresa, we got to add Venmo and Cash App to our to-do list. You know, folks online who want to give.
Tell them to check with me again after December 12th.
All right, after December 12th, check with Pastor T, and she'll work on adding some more options on the site. All right, for now, moving on to announcements. On our website, mountainuu.org, it looks like this over here. And if you do the drop-down menu on your phone, it looks sort of like that. And you'll see announcements there. Here's what's happening this week. So produce and more distribution at River Grove is happening this Tuesday, so 2 days from now, around 3 o'clock. It depends on when Reverend Kim gets the produce to us. That's usually about the right time, but here's my number, 707-384-9969, if you want to get in touch with me about the timing of things. This is our flyer. We made a new flyer. Amanda helped us. Thank you, Amanda. And I got some on the table, so if you know anyone that needs food, baby formula, toiletries, cleaning supplies, hygiene items, we have those things, and we are happy to get them to people. So our church number is on the flyer, and you can text or call that number. So we're going to be distributing that flyer as well. So if you've got any warm winter things or any Christmas decorations that you want to give away, you can bring those also that day.
Can I add something to that?
Yes. What else?
She never tells me that. I appreciate that. So, if you've not been with us to hand things out, strongly encourage you, if you're at all available, to do so. The food pantry, especially the way that it is stocked right now, due to donations from all of you, online and in person, is healing a part of me I didn't know needed healed. We had a woman show up this week and just cry that we have feminine hygiene products, and that she didn't have to make do with other needs that I won't bore you with here in service. But I've been there. I've been where she is, and her crying over that, it brought me to tears. Just thank you for making it possible that we can do this, and please don't hesitate to come join us to hand it out, because the gratitude from the people that we're able to hand this out to. It touches something inside of you that I can't describe. You just gotta come feel it. And I think those who have volunteered with us can agree, because I see a lot of nodding.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, yep, absolutely. All right, and Grief Group is by Zoom, Tuesdays at 6, link on our website. And meditation sessions with Natasha. The theme for this month is the upcoming month is the Winter Within. That's Wednesdays at 6 in this room right here, and we did stream that live on TikTok last week, and that seemed to go well. And coming up, I am manifesting snow for Pastor T.
thank you. Appreciate it. I want a white Christmas.
Yep. Pastor Advisory Committee next Sunday before the service, and then in 2 Sundays, please make sure you're here for our board meeting if you are on our board. We are getting ready to get that annual budget finished, so we definitely need your support and attendance for that. That's the 7th of December at 1:30. And thanks everyone for the hospitality. Just a reminder, here's who's signed up so far. Jennifer, Natasha, and someone baking a birthday cake on the 1st Sunday of every month. 2nd Sunday, Beth J. and Lori B. 3rd Sunday is Judy all by herself. Come on, somebody. Sign up to help Judy. She doesn't want to cook all by herself. 4th Sunday, Danetta, Katie, and Amanda. 5th Sunday, we're up next week, is our family and the Moreno family. So please bring things if you are able to, if you just feel like donuts that day and you want to share, it's fine to bring extra stuff. And if you've signed up for a certain Sunday and you can't do it, let us know so we can find someone else. And then that's all I've got for you.
What's not on here is Full Moon Circle and Solstice for next month, but they will be on the website by end of day, and we'll have those announcements tomorrow. I think we just didn't have the dates written down yet. All right. Now sing our closing song.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
And now I'll invite Beth to come read our chalice extinguishing.
As we extinguish this chalice, we remember that the light we kindle here does not disappear, it transforms. May we honor our interdependence by turning gratitude into service and belonging to brave action. Go forth and live our mission, love in action, creating change.
May this Thanksgiving be less about the myths and the pressure and the picture-perfect moments, and more about the small lights that still manage to shine. The kindness you give, the courage it takes to say yes, the strangers who become family, the tiny blessings hiding in plain sight. May you find gratitude in unexpected places. May you feel it growing inside of you, even if the world around you feels unsteady. And may you remember, this week and every week, that you are worth loving, worth choosing, and worth giving thanks to. Amen.
Please join us for coffee.
And to our online community, Chris and I will be live on at least one of these platforms.
TikTok.
All day on Thanksgiving,
Oh.
so don't feel alone.
Absolutely.
Yes, he was. Thank you. I appreciate you noticing my confusion there.
Okay, great. All right. Well, then just no rush because the next time we give things away after Thanksgiving will be the second week of December. This week, the first or that. And I know where you live. Yeah. How are you guys? Good. Yes, the one on Red. Yes.